Game Up. They make a thirst-quenching adult beverage with a special blend of electrolytes. Comes in 4 great flavors: fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape.
That's right. And it's only 110 calories. It's a low-carb drink. So, guys, enjoy yourself. Game Up. Don't feel guilty about it, and enjoy UFC 309, Madison Square Garden. Jon Jones defends his heavyweight championship against the heavyweight GOAT, Stipe Miocic. And, man, Jones, I don't know. He hasn't fought that much recently. Stipe hasn't fought in forever, so I don't know what to expect here again, but these are the two greats, when it comes to MMA and specifically the MMA heavyweight division with Stipe. But let's get to the rest of this. Oh, before we even get to the main card, is there any other fight you want to put a little shine on here?
Yeah, before any of the fights, I want to point out that I read recently that they're using the old gloves.
I wanted to talk about this.
Yes, they're using the old gloves. I know the knockout statistics have gone down since June when they introduced these new gloves. Mm-hmm. But their new gloves are made to avoid eye poke.
Yes.
And there's a certain someone on this card who is the king of poking people in their fucking eyes.
And this guy, too, has notoriously complained and gotten his way with other things, too. Like, he's had referees change. Like, he didn't like John McCartney back in the day. Mm-hmm. And, he had Herb put in there instead. Like, he's definitely complaining. And I'm not saying that's what happened, but it is a little suspicious that when Jon Jones comes back, now we're going to have these gloves again. And it just sounds like I can almost just hear, I'm not used to these. If we're going to do this, I'm not going to fight, because that is Jon. Like, he's pulled out of fights before because of certain reasons. Even Chael Sonnen, a fight that he would have dominated and did go on to dominate because there was a change in opponent. He didn't like it. He pulled out. So whatever. We don't know, but it definitely just is very suspicious at times.
Just worth noting that, when you see these eye pokes, that if there's a big increase in them or whatever, it's not just from the old gloves. It's also because Jon Jones is trash. Right. But on the prelims, keep an eye out for
Weidman.
Yeah, Weidman versus Eryk Anders, couple old guys going at it. Also, Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson is on the card as well. So shout out to these legends, some veterans. Mickey Gall's on there, not a legend, but a fan favorite for sure. It's a couple Veronica Hardy's on the early prelims as well. So
yeah, and I can honestly say I don't know who's going to win that Weidman Anders fight, because I thought Weidman looked good enough, and I still think his chin is a little suspect. But I feel like if he can institute his wrestling and keep his distance, he might be able to. I don't see him getting a finish, but I could see him maybe pulling off a decision here too.
Anders is very up and down as well. So both guys are near the end of their career. So
it'll be an interesting fight. Let's get to this main card. Okay.
Well, we got to talk about on the main card, on the undercard, Bo Nickal versus Paul Craig. I'm very excited for this fight. Bo Nickal's a minus 1,100 favorite, which I think is a bit disrespectful to Paul Craig. But I understand Bo's the biggest prospect or whatever in the sport, and most people assume he's going to finish Craig. But
is this on the main card?
It is on the main card.
Okay.
It's I also assume he's going to get the finish, but I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Craig got locked up some sort of triangle choke or something.
I'll review this one real quick because Bo Nickal 6-0 undefeated. 4 subs, 2 KOs. He has everything's been a finish so far early in his career. And Paul Craig 17-8-1, jiu-jitsu ace, 4 KOs, 13 subs. All Paul's fights have been finishes actually too that he's won. So it's a real fan. I'm gonna go with Bo, but man, I could see Paul Craig pulling out a submission here rather easily. Paul's submitted Magomedov, so like he's definitely capable of pulling out a submission.
Yeah, let's go through the beginning of the card here really quick. Mauricio Rufy versus James Longtop.
All right, James is 14-4, 7 KOs, 1 sub, 6 decision. 0-2 in the UFC, so he wants to win. But Mauricio, 10-1, 10 KOs, 10 KOs.
Yeah,
every fight's a knockout, and 1-0 in the UFC. This clearly was a showcase fight if I ever saw one. I go up against a guy who's currently 0-2. I got Mauricio. I'm going to go first round knockout, not to be disrespectful, but I feel like this is what we're setting up here, and we want to kick this card off in a bang. So Mauricio, round 1, TKO.
Yeah, I'm with you. Round 1 TKO. Mauricio is a minus 850, which we're just talking about Bo Nickal being minus 1,100, but minus 850 is huge in MMA, especially the biggest promotion in the world. So that's I agree with you 100%. Showcase fight for Rufy, and probably first round knockout, and then James is probably getting sent back to Peru and getting cut from the UFC, unfortunately. But women's flyweight top 10 fight here: Viviane Araujo versus Karine Silva.
All right, Viviane is, I forgot to put her record, but she's got 3 KOs, 4 subs, and 5 decisions. So she's got 12 wins.
12 wins, 6 losses.
6 losses. Okay. I also have she's lost 3 out of her last 4. So that's notable right there. Silva is 18-4, 9 KOs, 8 subs, 1 decision, coming off her first decision win, and is 4-0 in the UFC and on a 9-fight win streak. This again looks like it's possibly going to go be a showcase fight. I will take Silva. I don't know if she will get the finish though. Looking at Viviane, she's I think only been TKO'd once. It was like her first fight, something like that. She's not had a lot of like losses. Like she's been submitted here or there, decision. So I don't think she's going to get finished. So I'll take Karine Silva by decision.
I agree 100%. I think this is another showcase fight. Karine Silva is a monster. She's an up and comer for sure. Very dangerous. Keep an eye on her. Dark horse in the division. But I'm with you. Arroyo is a vet. Very tough. Like you said, very difficult to finish. So I think DFC's testing her to make sure that she can, go 3 rounds. So I'm going to pick Silva by decision as well.
Co-main event.
Charles Oliveira de Bronx versus Michael Chandler. Number 2.
Charles is 34-10, 34-10-1, 10 KOs, 21 subs, 3 decisions. He's a former lightweight champion. He's had fight of the night 3 times, and this is important, performance of the night 13 times. He is an exciting fighter. Michael Chandler is 23-8, 11 KOs, 7 subs, 5 decisions. Former Bellator lightweight champion too. Should be noted. Performance of the night 2 times and fight of the night 2 times. And this is a guy who hasn't been in the UFC very long. I want to say 5 fights. So pretty much 4 performance bonuses already. So he's an exciting fighter. They fought before. Chandler had him in trouble and then he got caught. Chandler has not fought. He's fought very excitingly. I'll say that. He's been very exciting since he's fought. And I don't think he's fought necessarily the best game plans here. Now, I saw Chandler talk about that he doesn't think anyone can beat him when he's dialed in and focused and he fights smart. Let's test that out. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a dialed in Michael Chandler for this fight but he's had a lot of time off. He's waited for that Conor McGregor fight. That could be the curse of curses. We will see. Charles Oliveira should be the favorite here. I would say by submission or TKO, round 3 would be a smart bet maybe because I think they're going to throw fire here. But I don't know. I smell something in the air. I'm going to go Chandler. I could be wrong, but I just feel like I believe him when he says he's going to be dialed in and he's going to be rested and I think he's going to look sharp here. I think Chandler will pull off a decision.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Yeah, Oliveira, got that second round KO, but Chandler was close to getting a 10-8 in the first round, and then got clipped and Oliveira finished him. But he got knocked down. Oliveira got knocked down in the first round, and he almost got submitted with a guillotine, if I remember correctly. And Chandler was looking great. And I'm with you. I think the whole issue with Conor, the whole fight not coming together has lit a fire under him. So he's been continuously training for that fight because he didn't know when it was going to happen, but he hasn't been taking a bunch of damage, being active. So that could work in his favor. He's looked great. I think mentally he knows that he has 1 or 2 more and it's just galvanized him. I think he's very focused, like you said. I love Charles, but I'm with you. I think Chandler has an aura about him right now, and I think he gets a round 2 KO this time.
Okay. I think what we're both saying, we're picking that as an upset. Like the smart money probably would be on Charles based on everything we've seen in the past, but yeah, I just think there's upset written there.
Chandler's also like 37 or 38 or something. Yeah. So, and at lightweight, that's pretty old.
Right.
But he stays in great shape. So I think he's going to be okay. Let's move on to a couple other old guys. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, Heavyweight Championship for now. MSG. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Stipe, 20-4, 15 KOs, 5 decisions. You're not submitting this. You're not submitting Stipe. UFC Heavyweight Champion 2 times, 4 successful to title defenses. This guy has just been victorious in more heavyweight championship fights than anybody. So that's why Stipe is considered to go. Jon Jones, 27-1-1, 10 KOs, 7 subs, 10 decisions. Despite that 1-1, this is a guy who was never really defeated. He had 1 disqualification loss. He's always found a way to win. He was dominant at light heavyweight, winning that title twice. He now won the heavyweight championship in dominant fashion. But there are some stuff to note. As much as, everybody will talk about the invincible Jon Jones at light heavyweight towards the end, he looked very vulnerable. He had some competitive fights with guys who did not go on to win the light heavyweight championship. And at heavyweight, physically, I wouldn't say he looked the best walking in that octagon, but he met a guy who had really no wrestling. Jon immediately was able to take him down and submit him. So this is interesting. Now, again, though, much like in the boxing world, we're talking about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. There's just so many variables here. It's like Stipe, this isn't necessarily the Stipe we just saw last. Stipe's been out for years now himself and hasn't fought at all. And Stipe's been through so many battles. Much like I said the last time, the smart money is probably on Jon Jones. He's the most dominant. I'm not going to pick Stipe, unlike when I picked Chandler, but I do think that there is a possibility for an upset here. I think it's very interesting and telling that Jones has been injured and he's still not fought at this weight class a lot. If this gets out of the first round and it's not a situation where Stipe gets put on his back early in a wrestling type thing, we start getting around 3, start 4. That could be very interesting cardio-wise, especially if Stipe still has some gas in the tank. I'm not going to be shocked. I mean, I guess I'd be surprised, but I still won't be shocked if Stipe can find a way to pull off this victory. But smart money's on Jon. I'm going to say, I don't even know. I'm going to be very specific here. I don't think he'll even make Stipe tap. I think Stipe will probably get choked out because I think Stipe will probably just try to fight it. And you're probably looking at round 2. Because I just feel like this is an older version of Stipe, and Jon's going to be desperate to try to take him down and do what he can here. We'll see how it goes, though. I can honestly say I really do not know what to expect in this fight, given the inactivity of both men.
Yeah, I mean, just thank God that this fight is happening so the division can move on. We all know Aspinall's the real champ at this point, right? But this is an interesting matchup. Stipe, greatest UFC heavyweight of all time, most title defenses at heavyweight for sure. Jones is the greatest overall fighter of all time outside of Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, even if Jones is tested positive for banned substances. I think that rules him out for me. But Stipe's had a few years off, like Chandler, to heal up, not taking a bunch of damage after that brutal KO from Francis. But he's also 42 years old. Chandler's 38, we mentioned, looking great. I mean, 42 and 38, there's a big difference in athletic years. That being said, that means a little bit less at heavyweight. The prime is pushed, the peak years are pushed a little bit further down the timeline. So Stipe, while he's not in his prime, he's not that far outside of it. So he's also very well-rounded. And just like Jon, he has great wrestling. And I would argue in the striking department, he has one-punch KO power where, at least at heavyweight, Jon has not proven that. He didn't have it at light heavyweight, so it's not likely he'll have it at heavyweight. So that's a big plus for Stipe. And Jon does get hit. And in that little bit of time that we saw against Cyril Gane, Jon looked pretty slow. Although that was years ago at this point, too. I'm sure his body is changed. He maybe has adapted to heavyweight better, but we'll see. I mean, I'd love for Stipe to beat Jon up for a few rounds and then get a spectacular KO finish. And it's possible for sure. Very possible. I don't think people are giving Stipe the respect or credit that he deserves.
Even though I picked Jon as a second-round submission, I could see Stipe getting a second or third-round TKO.
Yeah,
because we've not seen that jaw tested, that chin tested at heavyweight.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I just think it's more likely that Jon's going to win. I don't think he submits Stipe. I think it's more likely he outpoints him to a decision after poking him in the eyes at least 3 times. If you're going to bet money on this fight, bet on how many eye pokes, over 3 eye pokes.
All right, guys.
And then also, Jon Jones, he's going to retire after this. New York is his home. This fight is at MSG. He's from New York. He's going to retire and drop the belt. He's not going to fight Tom Aspinall. Maybe after he retires, he gets coaxed to come back and fight Poatan in, catchweight fight or a heavyweight fight that's not a title fight. But Jon Jones is going to retire after this fight if he wins.
I was actually going to tell you I would not be shocked if Jon finds a way around Aspinall and gives Alex Pereira a shot and then he retires, because I feel like he sees the wrestling gap that Pereira has and feels like he could exploit that, and that's where he would try to get away with that. I could see it. Either way, I think we're on the same page a little bit here. You're saying immediate retirement, but yeah, I think definitely he avoids Tom at all costs.
Which is funny because that's how Jon won the light heavyweight belt. He fought older Shogun, and now he won't give the younger guy a shot.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor